Hello, everyone. Welcome to our OpenShift Commons virtual meetings. We meet here every Wednesday, and here with me, I have a fantastic panel. So today we'll be talking about the value of cloud services. But before, what is really Commons? It's really a place where we all meet to talk, discuss, share knowledge, and also learn. If you are an end user or just a contributor or partner, customer, we welcome you to just attend, participate, but also CFPs are open. My name is Valentina. I work with in the OpenShift video. I'm a technical marketing manager, and it's a pleasure to be hosting the session today. So, as I mentioned today, we have only 1 hour to really try to grasp all the wonderful things that the value of cloud services will bring us. We want to start with some introductions, and we go over the different personas, the trends in the industry, what is coming after, and then what will be the best thing that you can do also to start working with cloud services and learn from it. So with that, I want to introduce Greguy, Brooke, and Michael. I have them three amazing speakers who are working with cloud services every day. So Brooke, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Valentina. Hi, everyone. I'm Brooke Jackson. I am a product marketer working on OpenShift and specifically with OpenShift Cloud Services. Been working in technology and specifically with managed cloud services for, gosh, it's over 15 years now. So definitely a passion and a love of mine. I'm happy to be with you guys today.
Thank you. Greguy?
Thank you, Valentina. My name is Greguy Valbuena. I have been in Red Hat for almost five years. And I started in Red Hat as a customer success manager. And after that, I start to work with services and all the things related to cloud services and OpenShift. And it's a good combination for me. And it's one of the things that I want to achieve with you today about the connection between customer success and cloud services and how we can provide success for customers. For me, it's amazing. I belong to the global services team. And thank you for this invitation. And now I pass the ball to Michael.
Thanks so much. My name is Michael McNeill. I am the team lead for the managed OpenShift Black Belt team here at Red Hat. We're a team of subject matter experts around cloud services. I've been at Red Hat for almost 7 years now, and I have been working on cloud services. So I like to say since before cloud services were cool. I have a lot of experience around what our customers are doing around cloud services and all the work that we're doing to improve the product and grow the product and make it easier for customers to use in their organization. So I'm excited today to talk to you a little bit about cloud services and how we at Red Hat are using them to further innovate in our customer world.
Yes, no, my God, this is an amazing introductions and such a fan of the black belts. So thank you all for the interest. And with that, I think we are ready to start really looking into first the introducing the topic to anyone that may be new to cloud services. So we really want to understand like really what cloud services are, how we can take advantage of it, but also what is right now the current industry landscape. So we'll pass it. Yeah. Brooke, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I might just take one step back for anyone who needs just a brief review of OpenShift, right? So OpenShift is a comprehensive app platform. It's used by many of the world's top enterprises to build, deploy, and manage their applications. And so the beauty of OpenShift is that it's an application platform, right? It's different than just standalone Kubernetes. It's going to have all the things that you need to build and deploy applications just kind of out of the box, which is really cool. The other really interesting part about it is that you can deploy OpenShift anywhere. So whether it's public cloud, on-prem, data center, at the edge, you're going to have that same consistent experience. And that's really helpful So you can really choose where you best need to deploy your applications, and you kind of just aren't in a hole depending on what technology that you're using, which is pretty cool. Now you can run OpenShift self-managed, or you can run it in a managed application, which we're calling cloud services. So that's what we're here to talk about with you today. One of the things that I really love, and I think it's really unique and really beneficial about OpenShift Cloud Services, is that it's a joint native solution. So what does this mean? So this means that for Red Hat OpenShift service on AWS, that we like to call ROSA, and Azure Red Hat OpenShift, that they are joint solutions. They are just as much AWS and Azure solutions respectively as they are Red Hat. And for anyone listening that's like, okay, well, what does that mean for me actually? A couple kind of big things. One is that it integrates with cloud tools. So if you're familiar with using, say, an Azure specific tool or AWS specific tool, like no problem, you can use that with Azure or with cloud services. It also means that you can go to either organization for Red Hat or Azure or AWS for support. We work together, and Greguy really going to talk about that today. It's really kind of interesting way that we work together to be able to answer questions for customers, help solve their problems more quickly, because we are working together on that. And then lastly, you're able to use your cloud committed spend. You're able to burn that down with OpenShift. So that just means like, man, I can use my funds more efficiently, which who doesn't want to do that right now?
Wow, that's amazing. Gregory, I think you're next.
Okay, and one of the things that I would like to add is that the key of the OpenShift and cloud services is the accelerated time to value. I think is one of the most important points that we have here in order to improve operational efficiency, focus on innovation. These kind of things are the reality of the organization today. And it's one of the reasons that we provide tools that can support organizations and how we can drive in order to achieve the business results of the organization. Is one of the things that I want to highlight. And I think that later in the conversation, you are going to be aware of all the benefits that we can achieve with cloud services.
Yeah, that is fantastic. We had a session a couple of weeks ago that we were talking about how the organizations are really looking into reducing all that complexity and trying to bring the value into the market sooner and efficiently. And what we are hearing is like really cloud services is a really important aspect of that, but also not only to accelerate the value into the market, into the business, but also saving time from operations and the different personas, and even, I mean, saving costs. And I will be talking about also best practices and how cloud services allow us to do that. And with that, Michael, all yours. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's really important. One of the biggest benefits of cloud services that we see that our customers experience is really a reduction on doing things that don't necessarily matter to an organization's business. Whether you're a financial services customer, whether you're an airline, whether you're a logistics company, all of those different companies are driving revenue through things other than running an application platform. And in many cases, the challenge that we see regularly with those customers is that they're really focused on running a secure and stable platform, and that takes away from them being able to do things that actually drive innovation in their organization. And so when we talk about those different kind of different parts of those customers, it's important to understand that Red Hat's cloud services really provide a secondary and kind of a better foundation that allows customers to treat that as a secondary part of their business instead of a primary part of their business. So now they can focus on driving innovation where it really matters, ultimately above the API, right? Being able to build applications, deploy applications faster, and doing so in direct collaboration with cloud providers. So OpenShift, as an application platform, has a lot of tooling built in to help you build your applications, and that's all well and good. But customers today are building very complex applications, multi-layered applications that utilize cloud provider services. And the key thing about Red Hat Cloud Services is that we love to encourage that. For example, in Red Hat OpenShift Service on AWS, our ROSA offering, we have a direct integration using IAM roles for service accounts, which utilizes the AWS Secure Token Service and directly integrates applications in your cluster into AWS applications that you might need, say Amazon RDS, for example, where you need a database for your application. Your application can be running in ROSA and connect using secure, time-limited credentials inside of AWS, all without having to add any additional code into your application. All of that can be handled natively out of the box inside of OpenShift. And so Red Hat's cloud services really prepare you as a user of them to rapidly build applications that take advantage of the best parts of the cloud services ecosystem. And then on top of that, they bring all of that together with our hybrid cloud story. Ultimately, the things that you're doing inside of AWS can be replicated very easily from a consistency piece into, say, Azure, right? Using Azure Red Hat OpenShift or OpenShift dedicated on Google Cloud, right? All of those different providers have a very similar footprint, being all under the base of OpenShift. And so when you're building once in, say, AWS, you can easily move your applications into other clouds, into on-prem environments, even into edge environments where you need to be as close to the data as possible. And when we're talking about what customers should really focus on there, I think it's important to talk about that whether you're a platform engineer or whether you're a developer or whether you're a line of business, ultimately you get benefits out of this because you are driving a successful kind of platform that your business can build on without having to worry about, is it secure? Is it stable? Do I need to test all of these different pieces together? Red Hat has been building this story with OpenShift for a very long time. Cloud services are not something that Red Hat is just now getting into. The OpenShift Online service started back before Kubernetes even existed. So ultimately, we have a lot of experience in running these solutions at scale. And now we've taken that to a secondary level because we've partnered with our cloud services partners to essentially establish first-party services in the major clouds and ensure that you can get all the benefits of a first-party service, whether you're in AWS, whether you're in Azure, and help you build those to meet your needs of the business that you're operating in.
Yeah, I agree, and that is a lot of different values, right? That it brings not only to personas but also as a platform. So we were talking about a lot about the value to developers, how to accelerate that into the business, but also operations, as you were saying, are critical because with operations, we need the platform to be ready for those developers to access and start building their applications. And with that, Brooke, can you tell us more about what the managed offering is and what does it mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And just listening to what Michael was saying earlier reminded me of a customer conversation I had at Summit where one customer said, well, yeah, I could probably do those things, but why would I want to? And like, that was such a light bulb moment for me to be like, exactly. Why would you want to? Because you want to focus on other parts of your business, on innovating in other places. And so I thought it was a light bulb moment for him, but for me as well, like, absolutely. But yes, to your question about what is the difference, what really makes it a managed service? Well, a couple of things, but I do want to call out our SRE team, our site reliability engineers. It's a global team. They manage everything from infrastructure to daily operations. They're providing automated provisioning, pre-configured tools, just things that are, making our DevOps team's life easier, if you will, simplifying. There's monitoring, there's networking, there's patching. I think one of the coolest areas that that resonates with me, I guess, is around updates. And I'd be interested to hear what the rest of our panel says as well. But we know that like managing, keeping your platform up to date is hard, right? There's lots to it because you're not just keeping up to date, Kubernetes and those release cycles, but you're also having to kind of keep up to date and compatibility issues with any of the integrated tools or the other components. And Michael was just saying they're pretty layered applications with lots of components that are related to building them. And so if you are responsible for keeping that up to date, like that's a full-time job plus, right? It's not just one thing you're keeping up to date. It's many different tools. They have different life cycles, different support cycles, release cycles. It would be a lot. And so that's one of the cool values of a managed service like OpenShift Cloud Services is that it's one platform and it's updated and monitored for you, right? And so that's, again, going to simplify your DevOps team's life, your platform engineers. It just takes a big load off of your team.
Michael, do you want to add something into that?
Yeah, I think ultimately from our customer's perspective, right? The upgrade process is especially painful. We see managing security vulnerabilities, managing integrations between different softwares, making sure that the software that they're using is compatible and not going to cause some sort of regression as they go forward. And then ultimately, when they get kind of through that process and they run into a problem, who do they call? Ultimately, those challenges are something that our customers face every day. And being able to use Red Hat Cloud Services, which really provides ultimately a platform that they can use to build on that and rely on the experience of Red Hat, both in the upstream communities as an open source champion, but also beyond that into our extensive testing and integration ecosystems is really a major value to our customers because it allows them to focus, like I said, on what their business really matters and how they drive innovation in their own organization without having to worry about how is this all tested together. In addition to that, I think something that's really important to mention is that we're working on enhancing and improving the upgrade process overall for customers so that they can ultimately have a platform that is actually able to be upgraded in a fashion that reduces downtime and maintenance windows for customers so that they can ensure that the applications that say need a different version of OpenShift or a different version of Kubernetes can remain on that version while you upgrade the rest of the cluster, ensuring you're getting the latest security patches and bug fixes and things like that, and ensuring applications can be isolated that end up not needing those or being unable to upgrade in the immediate term. There are a lot of benefits that Red Hat is working on that we have seen directly coming from our customers to be able to improve, especially in our hosted control plane offerings, which really improve that experience for customers. And I think it's really something that our customers are able to influence because we see the challenges that they face in their organizations, and we use that to inform our greater roadmap as we move forward. So I think that's always great to call out.
Yeah, and nowadays, I mean, more than ever, security is so critical on everything we do, and we need to start with all the layers from the infrastructure all the way to the platform and the applications, and having that customer-centric approach, understanding the user is critical. So what you're saying is we work really close with customers to bring the best on our products and take into the customer needs into considerations just to ensure that security is there. We will talk in a few minutes about compliance as well. So thank you so much for that. I have a question for Greguy. So Greguy, from your point of view, how customer success aligns with cloud services, with those business goals to understand the better results. So we are talking here about so many things, right? Understanding like security, saving time from the people and operations and really reducing costs. But what is your vision about that? How that's been managed?
Okay, I think the key point is understand the customer business. Red Hat provides or drives cloud services conversation in order to understand the business with questions like what is the company core business, and what is related with the application workloads, what is the current journey to cloud strategy that the customer has, and how we can support this strategy. And one, I think, is the most important for me is what is the driver in the customer related to how we are going to achieve goals and demonstrate value during the process, like business or operational efficiency or cost that are associated or related to more results in the organizations. Other thing that I want to highlight is that we keep in mind what is blocking you. For example, things related to legacy systems or hardware to the modernization that are pain points that we need to understand to support the business and connect with technology in order to have success together. I think is how Red Hat, our customers, and our partners work win to win in order to achieve better results, business outcomes, and give quick wins in a short term.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, we all love technology, but technology without a meaning and purpose and understanding the underneath value is like, doesn't make sense. So I'm learning about, as you said, right? Like, what is that I'm trying to achieve? How I can help my team, how I can accelerate business quickly and efficiently, and having all those into metrics so we can show the value into different teams, I think is key and critical. I have seen that, like, we worked together with Greguy in modernization some time ago, not that long ago, and we were focusing on those valuables, right? Those values. So thank you so much for that. And with that, we talk about the persona. So we talk OpenShift as an application platform. We heard from Michael about, hey, let's bring the best of the two worlds, like the cloud services. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We actually want to just leverage and capitalize all the amazing capabilities from cloud services and bring it into an OpenShift as an application platform. The best of Kubernetes, the best of containers, to pull everything in just one platform. As Brooke was saying, it's always the same platform, doesn't matter what you are using, right? So it's always provide that consistent experience, that comprehensive platform that me as a developer, I can access different tools to build, deploy my application, scale that with many things. Like, we have, so many products and so many ways, but I think scalability and security are really critical also to start, when you start modernizing and then you want to scale all those practices along your team, but do that, in a trusted manner, securely. And with that, I want to focus again a little. We talk about the personas, we talk about the value of really reducing that overhead and that time wasted on repetitive tasks and patterns from operations, but also bringing some of the cloud services, the cloud value and the platform value back into the platform engineering. So, Michael, what are your thoughts on that? What are the values for platform engineers, and how developers can also not benefit from all the ecosystem from the OpenShift as an application platform, but also the cloud services integrations and the providers that they bring?
Yeah, I think when you look at platform engineers, they're tasked with a lot, and it seems that their job kind of continues to expand as time goes on. Being a platform engineer, in my opinion, is actually one of the hardest jobs because you're always expected to be on the bleeding edge of understanding kind of what is going on in the greater ecosystem that you're operating in, but also you're responsible for ensuring that the platform that you're actually engineering is meeting the organizational standards, ensuring that it's secure and stable and functional for the teams that you're ultimately supporting. I think that when we talk about Red Hat Cloud Services in that conversation, one of the great benefits of that is something that Brooke has already talked about, which is our site reliability engineering team. That team acts as essentially a second layer of platform engineering for your organization. Really, it helps to essentially ensure that you can be building things on the platform and you don't have to worry about the stability or the security of the underlying platform. Red Hat is already doing that for you as it stands. In addition, Red Hat has a significant number of built-in integrations for different tools that platform engineers are already using today. Easiest example is logging, right? So every customer needs some sort of logging platform. OpenShift logging is included with our cloud services, and you can configure OpenShift logging to forward to, say, AWS CloudWatch. You can forward to Splunk or other third-party logging platforms. In addition, we have things like open telemetry and additional data that you can use to help monitor workloads, better understand how your workloads are actually operating, and ensure that you can detect issues with your applications while not having to worry about the underlying platform's functionality. So all of those benefits are inside of the platform. In addition, we have a lot of integrations with native cloud provider services that allow you to easily integrate with other tooling directly inside of the platform and around the platform, helping to ensure that you're operating in a way that meets your organizational security standards. And operationally, making sure that the tools that you're using take advantage of the great benefits of our cloud providers, which are things like managed databases, right? Things like other managed tooling, right? The benefit of these managed offerings is really that you take away the managerial overhead that exists for platform engineering and focus on ensuring the platform meets your organizational needs to ensure that you're getting as much velocity as possible in building that. I think it's also really important to say that always in this cutting edge ecosystem that sometimes you run into problems. And ultimately, in addition to having the SRE team that's there to ensure the reliability of the platform, you also have an entire support team that's there to help you understand, I've got this problem, I'm not sure what's going on. Can you help me troubleshoot this and understand what's actually happening in my environment? I think a lot of times we get heavily caught up on running a platform, but sometimes the challenges that our customers exist aren't necessarily about running a platform. Maybe, for example, it's a GitOps related challenge. They're running OpenShift GitOps, which is a version of Argo CD that they're like, I'm not really sure why this problem is happening. They can open a support case, and an engineer that is specifically knowledgeable about Argo CD and OpenShift GitOps can say, hey, your problem is related to this. Here's a piece of documentation on how to fix that. And I think that can't be overstated, the value that that brings to organizations. As someone who has done platform engineering myself, banging my head against the wall repeatedly is kind of it's like a big like mark of being a platform engineer. Ultimately, the challenges that customers face there, though, are not unique to individual customers. In fact, they're almost always situations that we have seen before in one way or another. So being able to take the benefits of that and open a support case with Red Hat and get an answer so that instead of you banging your head against the wall, you get an experience that says, oh, I've already done this before. Here, let me help you do that. My team specifically, every time that we work on an issue with a customer, we try to release a rapid release article on our what we call our Cloud Experts page, which is essentially a set of rapid release documentation for customers to be able to specifically address unique use cases in our cloud services. So those challenges that customers face are frequent, they're common, right? And one of the great benefits of Red Hat in our cloud services is that we do our best to make it so that you don't have to hit those. And so I think ultimately those are some really, really great benefits for platform engineers to be able to experience around Red Hat cloud services.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. And I am with, it reminds me what Brooke said as well, right? Like, do we want, as a customer, do I want to spend time on it? But also right now, like, it's also a challenge, right? Like, if you need all the people, right, to be really trained and skilled to maintain that, when you are growing all those platforms, you will meet more people. So do I invest in that, or do I invest on, on other things within my business? Do I invest in innovation? And what I'm hearing is like, really, you don't need to spend time on that, because you have the expertise, right? Has the expertise to really provide that. As you were saying, there are a lot of common problems we resolve every day. So thank you for that. So Greguy, to you, from your perspective, right? What do you think clients should focus on, get most of the value from cloud services? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that when we focus on business, we can have more clarity of the steps that we need to provide during the journey to cloud. And one of the tools that we have and we use with many customers is the customer success plan that identify what are the big roles that the customer has, and also the achievements that the customer wants as a goal. And because of that, we can't have a real map. It's like we have a personalization about the roadmap that the customer the customer has in order to achieve results, to improve their journey to cloud, and to increase adoption with the platform. I think it's one of the most important points, and we can provide very, very significant activities with a clear outcomes. It's like a step by step, but we can use in order to give value, in order to connect to technology, in order to have a flow and a smooth process with the customers. Is the creativity between customer, partner, and Red Hat, where I can put all our effort, our knowledge, to give them the most important results to the company in a short term.
No, that's great. And I know that when you focus on adoption, you focus on always bringing value into the customer and the business. So that is great. Thank you. Yeah, because that's what we really want long term, right? Like how they can adopt so they can bring more value, you know, in short term, long term, and make people's life really easier. So with that, I have a question to Michael about really public cloud Kubernetes. So what are if we start looking into the public cloud Kubernetes, such as EKS, AKS, GKE, what is really different about Red Hat Cloud Services? If you can give us like a brief summary on that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's probably really important to say, like, ultimately, at the end of the day, right, these are all Kubernetes platforms. But the thing is that's actually not what OpenShift is. OpenShift does use Kubernetes as the base and the foundation of our platform, but it is an application platform. It's designed to have a significant number of additional pieces that run on top of Kubernetes and allow customers to build their applications, deploy their applications, and run their applications faster. If you look at like any of those other public cloud providers, one of the things that you'll notice that's common with them is that it's essentially having you add additional services on top of the platform to be able to actually build an application platform. And that's all well and good. There's always an opportunity that customers have to build on top of a foundation like EKS or AKS or GKE. And I've seen many customers do it. But one of the challenges goes back to really the conversation that Brooke and I had both kind of mentioned in separate cases, is ultimately you're responsible for doing that yourself. So all of those pieces of adding every different piece together, whether you're pulling from the greater open source and cloud native community and putting those different pieces onto the platform, or if you're taking some sort of secondary cloud service, right? You're taking together something that you're building individually for your organization, and you put all of those together, right? That's just step one. Now you have to make sure that what you're doing is actually going to work together and effectively as you would expect. Then you're going to have to manage the life cycle of that ecosystem. And so you have built an entire ecosystem around Kubernetes platform, but the Kubernetes platform is just simply continuing to run regardless of what is running on top of it. There's no additional integration testing or things like that going on. You're responsible for building that. And just like Brooke's customer that she referenced back at Red Hat Summit, why would I do that? Ultimately, the business of a large corporate entity is not going to be building an application platform. In almost all cases, it's going to be a logistics company is going to want to deliver packages on time and at the lowest cost possible. An airline is going to want to get people to their destination as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Financial services industries are going to want to make sure that they're operating in a way that focuses on driving the most revenue for their business. None of those actual items are building an application platform. Red Hat's business is building software solutions for enterprises. And when we really talk about the cloud services providers, right? I mean, we're not competing against an AKS, an EKS, a GKE. That's not something that we are specifically operating in. We are operating in a model where we want to provide an application platform that allows for you to bring additional components that you need for your organization, or use the supported and tested and integrated components inside of OpenShift. And I think that's really a great delineation when we talk to customers on the kind of day-to-day basis of their operation. What we hear from them is that trying to build a platform takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of effort, and they don't have a lot of people. They don't have a lot of time. They have all of these business pressures that exist on them, delivering on what, say, Wall Street wants to hear, or delivering on what their leadership has set as corporate expectations. And from Red Hat's perspective, it's really important that we build a platform that meets those needs for our customers and helps them get value out of that without having to do all of the additional work that exists inside of building a platform. And so when we talk about that, is like we're comparing apples to oranges to a degree. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Brooke, do you want to add something?
I love all that. 100% agree. I just had another light bulb moment that I keep having these in this conversation, and that little emoji here.
Go for it. Yes.
But it's, I feel like in several conversations with customers, it's been that light bulb or aha moment to be like, I am building my own DIY application platform. Please don't say it like that, but I'm building my own DIY platform. I didn't even realize it, but that is what I'm doing. And when they, you kind of think of it like, okay, do I want to build and maintain my own platform, which is essentially what I have to do, and if I'm not using a complete out platform, or do I want someone else to do that for me, to have the platform there to manage it for me? I think that helped clarify in some folks' minds and customers' minds about kind of the differences between what they were maybe currently doing or considering versus working with a comprehensive app platform.
Yeah, nice. So since I have you, Brooke, I want to ask you, so when we are talking right now of the value of cloud services, we cannot skip the trends, that are going on in the industry, such as virtualization and AI. So can you give me your point of view about how cloud services support AI? And can you walk us through maybe a few examples?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we couldn't have a conversation about trends right now and not talk about AI, right? It's definitely a top conversation that we're having. It's interesting because, it really can vary with customers depending on where they are in their journey per se, right? Like whether they're just thinking about we know we want to use it, we want to be set up in the future to be able to use AI, but we don't exactly know how, to customers who are really knee deep in implementing some AI-enabled apps or learning from them. What more can we do to improve our customer experience, to improve the learning that we're getting from customers? And so it's definitely a hot topic of conversation, and one that we're trying to better explore with our customers to help answer that question. In terms of what we provide with OpenShift Cloud Services, is that we do support multiple AI platforms and models. Really, again, in the Red Hat fashion, really providing that choice, right? Choice for customers about the AI tools they want to use and where they want to deploy them. And so a couple examples. First, of course, I want to mention OpenShift AI as a platform that is supported, an AI MLOps platform that's supported on OpenShift Cloud Services. Also, the upcoming GA very soon, OpenShift Lightspeed. Also supported is Watson X AI, Azure OpenAI, AWS SageMaker, and really numerous partner tools, AI tools as well. So again, kind of just going back to that, we want to provide that choice for our customers, that consistent experience, regardless of where they want to deploy. Yeah, so I think that's kind of the latest and greatest with AI. It's going to certainly continue to be kind of the hot topic, and one that we're evolving with our customers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we could talk hours about AI because there are so many things, especially, yeah, all the
Yeah,
things that we are doing at Red Hat, right? So we will provide some follow-up content after the videos. Yes.
yeah, we could. Oh, and you know, the coolest thing actually that about OpenShift AI, to me at least, now I have to talk about that one the most, right? But it's like melding the MLOps and DevOps into one, right? Because it's the same platform that our customers can use to deploy their more like traditional containerized apps and their AI enabled apps. And so we've talked about simplification a lot. Like this helps with like, let's reduce the complexity. Let's use the same platform. So our data scientists and our platform engineers and our developers, and they're using, you know, the same language, if you will, the same platform. And so it's just that continued kind of message of let's simplify and help you kind of get to value faster, like we talked about at the very beginning.
Yeah, especially as you said with AI, right? That people need to invest time on learning, finding what they want to go. You don't need to start investing time or, you know, what is the platform that I should use. If you already have, or maybe you are new, right? But you can use the same platform for all the different workloads, you know, and taking advantage of everything that is already there, as you were saying, like, right, security, how I can scale my models and bring them into production all the way in a really simply, you know, a streamlined process, you know, that is the same to everyone. And I can scale best practices, everything that I need. And with that, when looking into AI workloads that, you know, OpenShift, yeah, master, you know, all those workloads and bring them into different environments and scale those. And also we talk about modernization, cloud native architectures, but also virtualization is a hot topic right now. And people are wondering what to do and how they can bring their virtual machines over. But also, what is the value of really, if I am like in this, you know, phase of really wondering what to do with my virtual machines, Michael, what do you think cloud services can bring for those customers that are really wondering what to do next?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing customers who are looking for alternatives in a like, where do you put your virtual machines, right? Do you stand up a new environment? Do you have to move them into an on-prem world only? Do you have to migrate them all to EC2 instances? The OpenShift virtualization solution and story that we have around that is really interesting. And I think it's something that for customers who are looking for a way to modernize and migrate their applications to containerization, it provides a great middle ground where you're able to migrate some and kind of rehome some of your virtual machines directly into the cloud using ROSA and platforms that are based on OpenShift. It allows you essentially to then take all the benefits that exist from OpenShift virtualization, which include like living in the exact same ecosystem as your containers. It also allows you to run legacy applications that may not be container ready, right? And so you're able to take all of those benefits as they exist in our virtual machine story. And you get to apply those with all of the benefits of cloud services. So you get to take advantage of the benefits of running in AWS. And in many cases, right, in examples where, for example, overcommitting of resources is something that in EC2, you get what you get. This is the specific amount of resources that you request. That's what you get. In OpenShift virtualization, you have the ability to overcommit virtualization resources similar to what you do in other virtualization platforms that allow you to better optimize the resources that you have. In addition, you're able to see everything in a single pane of glass that allows you to actually individually look at VMs and individually look at containers, or look at them both across the same ecosystem. And you're able to co-locate all of those together in a way that allows your legacy applications to communicate with containerized applications and vice versa. It really provides a really effective and strong option for customers who are looking towards modernization in the future, but need somewhere in the meantime for their applications to go.
Yeah, no, that's a great summary. So when I was at Summit as well as with Brooke, I was talking with some customers as well that they will, concern I have this legacy application and it will take me I don't know how much time to really modernize and be container ready. And when I was talking with them, like you really don't need to do that right now, right? Or just wait 2, 3, 4 years to have that application really modernized, and maybe sometimes even you need to rewrite the whole thing. Talking about OpenShift virtualization, and you can just migrate the virtual machine. It was like a bad moment for them. Like, oh my God, I can do that. Like, I can take advantage of the whole OpenShift as an application platform. Like, without changing the source code and everything that implies, because where sometimes customers have so many priorities and they want to focus on building new products, and how we can balance those priorities with the legacy systems, right? So there are many options with virtualization, and I really like what you highlight as well from the cost perspective. So we have many benefits from the cost perspective, looking into taking advantage of the platform, even modernizing virtualization, right? By bringing, I don't know, GitOps into building those virtual machines, and also adding those capabilities into applications once you are in the platform. So many things we can talk about hours as well about this, but we have just 10 minutes, so I want to be mindful of the time. And with that, I have one last question for all of you. I will start with you, Greguy. What do you think is next for cloud services?
I would like to summarize saying that it's empowered and continuous transformation. Empower what? Teams, IT teams. I think that the future is related to how we can empower these kind of things. We mentioned developers, people in operations, people in security that can use better the tools that we have, take advantage, as you mentioned, and the continuous transformation is all the time because the technology, the businesses, the market is changing, and it's part of the process. And Red Hat offer a journey because of that. I think the future is the summary that I mentioned.
Nice. No, love it. Focus on the end user, right? That's when we bring the value. Michael, and then I will close with Brooke. So, Michael, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think when we talk about like what is coming next for our cloud services, I think it's really important to talk about kind of our customers and how they're impacting our kind of path forward, especially in our hosted control plane offerings, which we call our next generation offerings of cloud services. We're focusing on things that customers have told us are really important. We're focusing on things like security and compliance. We want to ensure that we're operating in the spaces that our customers are operating in. And ensuring that we have the necessary certifications and compliance attestations that are necessary for customers to run sensitive workloads in our platform. In addition, we want to make sure that we're actually building a platform that ensures that customers can operate in as low cost of an environment as possible. So the only thing that they're paying for is OpenShift and the infrastructure that they need to actually run their applications. Other pieces of the puzzle that are kind of necessary, like a control plane and things like that, those can be essentially abstracted away from the customer, helping to ensure that they're running in a much more cost-effective manner. And then in addition to all of that, we're talking about bringing in technologies to allow customers to operate with more, what's the right word? Operate essentially with a greater focus on just their applications and their workloads and the technologies that they use to build them, and no longer having to worry about, okay, well, what do I need to do to ensure this platform works? We're bringing in technologies that allow customers to more easily deploy applications into restricted network environments, and use different workloads and use different tools to enable their workloads to operate effectively, whether that's monitoring or logging, or security-based tooling. And we're doing all of that together in collaboration with our customers, who are really informing our journey as we have been going towards hosted control plane and the improvements that we're making to the greater platform. We're really taking a look at what our customers are doing and finding the benefits that they need in their organization to help them to get the most out of our Red Hat cloud services.
Amazing, love it. Brooke, your thoughts?
+1 to both, absolutely. And they really kind of complemented each other and really focusing on what our customers are telling us, what their needs are, what their goals are, and how we're trying to help them accomplish that through things like what Michael was talking about. A lot of that's around efficiencies, right? Like the hosted control planes that we launched with ROSA was all about efficiencies, cost efficiencies, operating efficiencies, provision faster, resiliency, that type of thing. So you're going to see that for our other offerings as well this year. We talked about workloads, absolutely, and that is about listening to our customers, as Greguy mentioned. So we know that they are looking for places to rehome virtual machines, how we're going to help them with that. Everyone's thinking about AI, how we're going to use that. So we're supporting those offerings. How can we help you with that? And how can we help you not have to think about the operations because you want to think about AI, because you want to think about what you're doing with your VMs and how you're going to provide better experiences to your own end customers. So taking, that whole management layer, that extra thought and costs around that kind of off of your internal teams and kind of onto us. That'll be the ongoing theme for the rest of this year and into 25.
Thank you so much. With this, I am sure if you're listening this, you are thinking this is amazing and I want to start with cloud services. So Brooke, what can you tell us about how we can start with cloud services?
Yeah, I think one of the probably easiest ways for you to kind of get hands-on on keyboards and kind of experience things for yourself is to go to redhat.com/OpenShift. There's a button right at the top. It says like Cloud Editions. When you go there, we have an 8-hour free trial, essentially. It's called a hands-on experience. And so you can check it out with no cost and just, see what you think. It's going to have some workshops to kind of modules, if you will, to kind of walk you through. You're not there by yourself, right? We'll give you ideas of things to check out. So that's a great way to get started. That's really easy and low touch. There's lots of learning hubs, learning modules. If you are an Azure user, Google, IBM Cloud, lots of information there. And then if you're like, let's do a POC, let's get started here, we can do that as well. So talk to your account team. If you don't have an account team, you can chat online with someone in sales. Find me on LinkedIn. I will absolutely help you find something and someone, or do it myself. So lots of ways where you can just like immediately jump in, learn more, get your feet wet or fingers on keyboards. So it's redhat.com/OpenShift.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds amazing. Thank you so much, all of you, for the fantastic discussion. I really enjoy it. I think we are adding a lot of value to the audience with this. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.